What is up, everybody? Coach Chad here, the CEO of the Next Level Coaching Academy. We have another lovely client, 2 weeks in a row, client interviews. We got another lovely client on with us today. Her name is Cass. Cass, give us the 30, 60-second intro of yourself, and then we'll dive into your story.
Yeah, what's up, guys? I am Cass. I am a Colorado native. I've transplanted to New England. I am an online fitness trainer. I've been with NLCA for almost a year now. We're 5 days short on the 1 year mark. I have been an athlete my whole life. I currently coach rowing, and I am also an aspiring professional bodybuilder. So all things athletics, all things coaching, health, nutrition, diet. That's what I do all the time. So
Love it. I love how you said I moved to New England. Like you can't even say Connecticut. That's
no.
so cool. You have to say New England because people factor in New York and some of the other cool spots. Only playing around because I'm from Connecticut too. But hey, let's dive in. So we got a lot to unpack. Obviously, you joined NLCA, you're having good success. But I always like to start in the grassroots. How did we get into fitness, and how did online fitness coaching become a thought for you?
Yeah, so I started working out or playing sports in the second grade with like cross country. I did that for most of my elementary, middle school, high school career. I played basketball from fourth grade till college. So I've always been an athlete, and as a kid, I had dreams of being an NHL athletic trainer for a very long time. I knew all through high school I wanted to do athletic training. I got 3/4 of the way through the athletic training program in college. And then I just kind of decided that that wasn't exactly what I wanted to do, which is like soul crushing when that's like been your dream for so many years.
Yep.
But I ended up switching over to exercise physiology, finishing out my degree, and I moved straight into personal training and like gym management. I did that for years, and COVID, destroyed everyone's lives for a little bit in the fitness industry. So I fell away from coaching for a couple years because I just wasn't sure. I honestly wasn't sure if it was ever going to come back like it was after COVID. Like no one really knew like what in-person training was going to look like forever. So I wanted to get some kind of job security outside of that. And I did so, and I got working with rowing boats because I rowed crew in college, and I just wasn't fulfilled. Like I loved my job and I loved doing the things and building the boats, and I loved coaching my athletes and rowing, but it just wasn't enough. And I kind of, after I moved to New England, like hit rock bottom a little bit and was just like super wicked upset with like where I was in life. And I was just exploring my options, and I didn't actually know that online fitness coaching was what I wanted to do, but I knew I needed something different. And I knew I wanted to help people. So I just started looking at all my options. I was looking into like personal training jobs at a gym. I used to coach group fitness exercise, so I was looking into that. And I'm sure, Big Brother, whoever listens on our phone all the time when we're talking and searching and things, brought me to NLCA. So I looked into NLCA. I stalked NLCA for a couple weeks before responding to any of the DMs that I got. And then finally I had an awful day at work. I actually just like walked in and told my boss, like, this is my 2 weeks. I don't know what I'm doing, but it's not this anymore. And on that same day, I DM'd NLCA and was like, let's set up a sales call because I just something's got to give. And I think this is it. So I literally just like randomly fell into it, and here we are.
That's freaking awesome. I'm excited to unpack that. I would like to start here. I think there's a lot of people who are not fulfilled in their job, and you mentioned not being fulfilled in your rowing job. What does that feel like? Because I think the individuals who are not fulfilled in their job may not realize it yet. So what does it feel like to be not fulfilled in your job, or at least what were you experiencing?
Yeah, I didn't really understand what I was going through at first, but I could feel myself following into like a mundane, repetitive, like grayscale kind of lifestyle. And it just felt like every day was the same. It was just like, get up, go to the gym, go straight to work, go to my second job, come home, go to bed. Like, it was just like nothing. I wasn't doing anything for me. I wasn't like excited about anything. I definitely wasn't excited to get up and go to work every day. And it just like, it slowly engulfs you, I think, over time. But for me, the feeling was really just like feeling empty and lost, and like things weren't exciting like they used to be. Like, I wasn't excited to go on walks with the dog. I wasn't excited to buy new groceries and try new recipes. I wasn't like excited to have a weekend off because I didn't want to do anything, because I just was not like inspired to do anything at all. Which is a really, really crappy feeling.
Yeah, I can imagine. And hopefully you don't have any more of those days left in your life. But
Right.
if I'm hearing you correctly, crappy at work, and then that bled over into all aspects of life, even the things you loved, like walking your dog and potentially even rowing as well. The next thing I want to talk about is you kind of went out on a limb, right? We DM'd you. You followed us for a couple weeks, which in the grand scheme of things isn't really that long to make like this drastic career change. What was that experience like?
Scary. um I'm very much like you, Chad, a type 8, hard type 8, very hard type 8, not a lot of other like limbs on the Enneagram. So I like to challenge people and myself. I've always been a big risk taker. And I was already like falling into the depths of like the rock bottom is rock bottom. And I was like, you know what? Like, screw it. It can't get worse. I actually recorded you, and I was in NLCA apprentice to start, and you had suggested we like record a video of yourself to your future self when you make it.
Yep.
And I like literally turned the camera on and just like started sobbing. And I was like, I don't know what to do, but this has to be it. Like, I just like, I was just like paralyzed. But I knew that since it couldn't get worse, it had to get better. And if it wouldn't get better, I was just going to make another jump, and I was just going to give it a shot and do what I could do and put my best foot forward with NLCA. And at the end of the day, at least I could say I did it. And I would rather know that I did it and did not like it than always wonder, like, what if?
I need that video.
I'll send it to you.
I need that. That's freaking awesome. I'm so happy that you did that, by the way. And you're going to be happy like 5-10 years from now, looking back on that. That's like the one thing I recorded a lot in my beginning, but I wish I recorded more. So you're going to really enjoy that video. All right. So you get on the call, you get on the sales call. Obviously you're nervous, but you're also at rock bottom. So you're willing to make a change. What was the final thing where you're just like, all right, I'm doing this. I'm going to make the investment. Obviously not a small investment. What was the final push?
Yeah. Honestly, I got on the first sales call and I was like panicking because I was like, I don't have the money. I don't know what to do, but this is what I feel like in my soul, this is what I need to do, but I can't afford it and I don't know what to do. So I was like, give me 10 days. Let's get on another Zoom call. And in 10 days, I'll have the money. And they were like, okay, like, you know how it is when you get on a sales call and they're like, give
Yeah.
me a couple days. And you're like, you're not going to ever talk to me again after I get off this call. But I was like, I'm serious. Like, I will get on this call in 10 days and I'll have the money. And I don't care what it takes, but I need at least 10 days to figure this out. So the final push was I called my mom and I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what it costs. I don't know how to get this money. Like, what do I do? And she was like, are you sure you can actually do it? And I was like,
Oh
fuck
shit.
you. Yeah, I can. Yep. I'm gonna,
That's the 8 in you.
yes, I'm sure. Yeah. So she was like, if you think you actually can do it, luckily my mom's worked at a credit union her whole life. So she was able to help me get a loan to pay the money. But that, like, are you sure you can do it? I was like, try me. I was like, all right, like now I have to, like, that's the thing. So it was really just, I'm very driven by, I have not had a lot of support in my lifestyle, not very supportive parents or family. So like my entire soul has been like, fuck you, watch me. Sorry for my language, but like that's been every like decision that I make is just like, that is the motive behind it. So that was like the push. I was like, you know what? Like, yeah, I am gonna do it. Like, watch me do it, mom. Yes, I'm going to.
Oh, that's awesome. Honestly, very eerily similar to mine. Like my
Mhm.
first business coach, I told him the same thing, like give me X amount of time and I'll find the money. My mom didn't work at a credit union. I had to sell a bunch of random things around the house to come up with the money. But same thing, it was more my dad actually than my mom. But they were like, why don't you just get like a real job, Why don't you just find something that's going to pay you sustainably? Same exact reaction. Like I'm going to show you guys, and
Mhm.
here we are. So really cool, really
Mhm.
cool that we have very similar mentalities. All
Yeah.
right. So you join NLCA. Was it a hot start for you? Was it a tough start for you? What was kind of the beginning like?
Really tough. I was working my full-time job, working like 60 hours a week, not getting paid for most of the work because I was salaried employee. So I was getting paid for 40 hours and working 60. I was also working a part-time job, like bartending at a barbecue restaurant. I ended up like managing for them with my bartending pay because obviously I'm an overachiever and I don't know how to ask for more money. But yeah, I was working like 70 to 80 hours a week and I was on the
Yeah.
5 a.m. gym crew because I worked 7 to 4 o'clock. And my work's in almost an hour from my house. So I was up 4:30 a.m. till like 11 p.m. And I would come home, like do an hour of modules, go to work, come home from work, do another hour of some kind of business stuff, and then like get some kind of sleep and just like over and over and over again. So it was really, really tough and it was a really slow start. But I'm glad that I got to like inch my way into it because I was able to like really focus on taking the small steps I needed to get where I needed to go. And it was easier for me to be actionable if I only had a short amount of time each day to do whatever I needed to do. So it was rough. It would took me a lot longer than I wanted to get myself like fully on my feet and out of both my jobs. But I was able to quit my second job after like 6 or 7 weeks into NLCA because I was starting to make enough money at that point. And I was able to quit my full-time job by the time before I finished the first 3 months of NLCA. So
Wow, that's freaking crazy. Hold on, I'm just
mhm.
writing this stuff down really quickly. But you were working 70, if I have this right, you were working 70, 80 hours a week, and you were still able to quit your job within a 6 to 7 week time frame. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right. So this will be really helpful then. A lot of individuals come into NLCA and time is one of their big concerns because like yourself, everybody else has a 9 to 5 and other obligations too. Let's get into the tactical here for a second. What were some of the strategies that you deployed for yourself to keep on top of everything and move the business forward?
Um, Honestly, one of the biggest things that helped me get through everything that I was doing, and by everything I mean everything, because I was
Don't say
juggling balls
caffeine.
of fire. No, not caffeine. Although I have to have a cup of coffee every day. It helps my soul. But
Yeah.
no, the biggest thing was actually just like prioritizing myself, so that I didn't burn out. And Lacey helped me a ton with the mindset coaching. And then when the Zentrepreneur modules came out, those helped as well. Um, but I really think a lot of my success in the insane work week that I was doing for the first couple months comes from like implementing like a hard stop time and making sure that I was doing things for me because I had not been doing things for me since I moved to New England. It was all about just like go to work, do the job, do the thing in front of you, one task in front of the other.
Northeast.
And yeah, Northeast, yeah, exactly. Tunnel vision all the time. Don't look at me, don't talk to me. I have my own things to do.
Yep.
But yeah, if I had not, it just felt nice to know that like my business was about to be what I wanted it to do and what I wanted it to be. Like my reels were about how I felt, my content was about how I wanted to help people, and just like making it all not all about me because it's all about your prospects, but being able to put myself in my work tasks instead of doing everything for everything else, I think is like the key to like how I got to where I am so far.
Yeah. I think we all want to know what did mom say when you were able to go full time?
She was pissed, honestly. I actually didn't tell her until after I quit. So my last day was July 29th, and on August 1st, she had texted me about something, and I was like, oh, by the way, I quit my job. And she called me and was like, are you stupid? And I was like, are you? And she like didn't respond. And she was like, what do you mean you quit your job? And I was like, I quit my job. I'm fine. Like, I have my business. I'm doing my thing. Like, I have rowing, here and there. So I still have that. Like, but I'm good. Like, I'm fine. I don't want to say I made it because I have not made it yet. But like, I made it out alive, past where you thought I was going to be and past where I thought I could be. And I'm doing it. Like, I'm good. And she was just like, just be careful, business is up and down and blah 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 blah. And she like was totally, I love my mom, if she ever listens to this, like she knows it's all out of love, but like she was a total hater for a long time. My whole family, a lot of them still are. I love getting the like, well, not all of us can be Instagram models for money or for a living. And I'm like, do you see how ratchet I look on these reels? I am not an Instagram model. But yeah, she now is very supportive and, helps out a lot with like sharing my content and, referring people to me. But when I first quit my job, she like couldn't believe it. And I knew there was like a little bit in her that was like, I don't think that's a good idea. But also you're an adult and I can't control you anymore. So good luck.
Yeah, well, more power to you. There's a lot of people who are afraid of their parents' opinion or their friends' opinion. Did you ever care about their opinion, or was it always this, fuck you mentality?
Yeah, I did. I still kind of do. Like I said, I didn't have a very traditional like upbringing. My parents were divorced from when I was like 4, lived in separate states after I was 5, like hated each other so much that they used to fight through me and my siblings. So like not a lot of support. So in our eyes, it was like, how can we be the best for our parents? Because it's always this game like we're in the middle of. But as an adult, I just decided like I don't have to live my parents' life anymore. And that's not, it sucks, but it's very like relieving to like be able to just step away from all of the background that you've been raised in. And I still care a little bit. It still hurts. I still have family members who do freaking like Octavia and Beachbody or like rave about how Paula from work did keto and they're gonna try it and won't listen to me about anything. And it stings, but I don't care anymore. I'm just like, that sucks, have fun. Like I know that I know what is best, but if you don't, I can't make you listen to me and I can't make you support me. So I'm gonna listen to me and I'm gonna support me.
Yep, 100%. You still have the normal human reaction, but at this point, it's just like, all right, I'm just going to continue to do me, which is awesome. So proud of you.
Yeah.
Sticking with the tactical, obviously you've had some really great success in your online fitness coaching business. Strategies. What do you think has led to, the financial success, getting the clients, having an established business? What were some of the really important strategies for you?
Working when you don't feel like it. That's the biggest one, especially, in the beginning when I was so tired, I'd come home. I'm already have been up for 14 hours and have to work a 5-hour shift at the restaurant and a module to do. And just like putting my goals in front of me. I'm not like a big, like goal board or, what's the word I'm looking for?
Vision board.
Like vision board. Yeah. I'm not one of those people, but just like little notes, like this is where you want to be, or this is where what we have to do. Like I would write, we have to X or we have to Y and put a sticky note on, my mirror or my laptop or like whatever. On the fridge when I'm like, don't feel like meal prepping. And I'm like, you're going to be pissed later when you don't have any time to work on your business because you have to make dinner because you didn't do it on Sunday. But just prioritizing myself and just putting my goals in front of me and speaking them into existence instead of like, I want to make X this month. It's like, we need to make X this month, or we are going to do X this month. And just making that a priority was a big strategy for me. And just freaking Google Calendar. I live and die by my calendar. I literally schedule in my sleep. I schedule in when I go to the gym, when I meal prep. I schedule my meals in, like stop and eat your meal for 40 minutes. Like schedule the crap out of yourself. And the schedule can be malleable and you can put different tasks in different places, but really being on top of time management is the only way that I've gotten where I've gotten so far.
Yeah, the three that I wrote down is working when you don't want to, making that necessary sacrifice, the trade-offs, right? The second one is the mindset piece, right? Always giving yourself the positive, always giving yourself the vision of what you're working towards. And then lastly, I have organization, which for you is Google Calendar. In order to get clients and have the success that you've had, you got to be good at sales. How did you get good at sales?
Oh man, I've been working on my sales since I was like 15. I've been working in some kind of like retail or restaurant or like some kind of sales-ish job since I could work. So I restaurant bar management and or bartender server, you have to learn how to upsell, you have to learn how to talk to people and relate to people. I actually worked in super random, but I worked in roofing sales for a year and a half in my little like hiatus, and we did a little bit of sales training, but it was really just like me using all the pieces of, you know, who I am and what I do, and just being very blatant with people who don't like people like sugarcoating, but they really don't, especially when you're trying to sell them something. So if you couldn't tell already, I'm like a very straightforward, honest person. I'm a no bullshit kind of gal, and making sure that your prospects understand that first and foremost makes them trust you more, because they know you're going to give them exactly what you have to say and not what they want to hear.
Yeah, 100%. So actionable steps for the listeners is obviously they're not going to have a whole career in the what industry were you? The service industry, right?
Service, yeah.
In service industry. So maybe just speaking up more when they would be afraid to, talking to strangers in public places, really building up the natural communication skills. And then the second one is, you know, be a straight shooter, right? People just want it direct, right? They just want to hear what you have to say. They don't want all the fluff. So those are two really great actionable advices. As we're rounding out the podcast here, I always like to ask individuals these questions, but for the individual who's on the fence, the person who's nervous to make that career jump, nervous because their mom tells them they can't do it, what would you say to that individual that's on the fence of becoming a full-time online fitness coach?
Take the leap. You know, I have been lucky to have been presented a lot of weird opportunities that not a lot of people would get in their lives in my past, and the only thing I would say is you never know until you know, and you can't be scared to try, because one day when you're, you know, old and gray and retired, you don't want to look back and be like, I wonder what my life would look like if I did X or Y. It's much easier to be like, well, I tried that, I didn't like it, let's try something new. And just take the leap. The worst that's going to happen is you decide that it's not for you, and then you have that checked off the list so you can keep moving in the right direction. And most of the time, if you're interested and you think that it's something you want to do full time, it's probably for you, because health and fitness trainers are a certain breed of people. We always want to help. We're there to, you know, serve other people. And if that's what you feel like your calling is, then it's probably for you. So just take the jump.
100%. Nike said it best. Just do it.
Yeah.
Cass, where can people find you at?
I'm on Instagram at Cass Fitco, and also Facebook, Cass Bruins, like the hockey team. Ironic that I moved to New England. But yeah, that's where you can find me anytime, any place.
Sweet. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys enjoyed this, take a little screenshot, share it on your Instagram or wherever you post, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.